How's everybody doing? Good? All right. Hi, my name is Zach Borders, and I'm the CEO of Civic Artworks, a company dedicated to empowering neighborhood design. I've practiced architecture and city planning for over 10 years, and I've worked to build communities all over the world, from China to India to Turkey, even the exotic landscape of Lincoln Park, where the natives always seem to be restless. Because of these worldly experiences and the stories that go along with them, I like to think I'm fun to talk to at dinner parties. But I don't know, my classmates and I had a dinner after demo day. Maybe they don't share that same belief, but I'll show you somebody in the next slide that may be a little bit informed. But that's not why I do what I do. I'm here because of my hometown and the ideas I've had to make it better since I was a little kid, who liked to draw and build and hike his pants too high, and maybe he's the fun one to go to at the dinner party. But as I grew older and I learned more about architecture and planning, I started thinking, how great would it be to restore that old bank building, because it's an important part of our community's history. Or improve that schoolyard so more kids could play there. Fix that street so it's safer to bike and walk along. And celebrate that downtown square, because those types of public open spaces are an important part of our country's democracy. Now, I know that everyone here today has an opinion about their neighborhood, from the folks here in the front row, they're having trouble seeing the screen back here, to the folks all the way in the back. And I know that very few, if any of you, have been able to do much about it. And that's a shame. The reason? The place where you are told to go with your good ideas is the dreaded public meeting. A place where good ideas by good people go to die amidst a process that is too time-consuming, too intimidating, and far too unproductive. And it's costing you, the taxpayer. These community meetings happen by law dozens upon dozens of times each year in every municipality across this country. Oops, sorry. Now that we're approximating, that's about 714,000 community meetings. And each one of those costs about $12,000 a piece. That's considering city staff time, private consulting fees, the facility the meeting's held in, the donuts at the front door. And that all told ends up being around $8 billion. And I don't know about you, but when I look out the window, I don't see $8 billion worth of strategy happening. So this created a negative environment, one where you, the community, has become increasingly apathetic, where elected leaders have become increasingly unmotivated, and developers who implement projects out in your neighborhood are increasingly stubborn to change. In order to fix this, we need something that encourages positive and focused conversations, gives you and your neighbors uninterrupted access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and does not make this effort a full-time job. It has to be easy. It should be easy. We believe that we provide that something that disrupts the existing practices. We update the clunky community meeting process with web-enabled technology that makes us faster, less expensive, and able to make a lot more people happy. The status quo in neighborhood development is a pyramid-like scheme with developers up top. They work with elected leaders and city staff behind closed doors to create plans that you only see once they're nearly complete. And that's where a lot of conflict occurs. So Civic Artworks flips that script around. We offer a process where you, the tax-paying citizen, initiates positive change alongside your neighbors. Growing support for your efforts captures the attention of elected leaders, city staff, and civic organizations who then pay Civic Artworks with money they're already spending to develop a plan alongside you. With increased feedback, our work also serves as a pointed market analysis that guides developers towards a project that will be a winner for everyone. Our website is where all of this plays out. You can now initiate changes in your neighborhood while wearing your bathrobe, anytime, day or night, minus the dreaded community meeting. This is empowerment. We've already had great success in Plainfield, Illinois, southwest suburb here in Chicagoland, where hundreds upon hundreds of community members have shown that there's high demand and that the process generates successful results. Residents and business owners became increasingly concerned about the value of their properties when the Illinois Department of Transportation decided to widen Illinois Route 59 as it traveled through the community. When it travels through the community, Illinois Route 59 becomes Division Street. In no time in its history had Division Street been so literal. The division was certainly there. Citizens were angry when they felt their voice wasn't being heard. They wanted a plan for the future from their elected leaders, and they were not getting it. So they started organizing, sharpened their pitchforks, lit their torches, and they let City Hall know that they were none too happy. So only then did leadership in Plainfield react. They reached out to Civic Artworks and asked us to help them to create a vision for division. Our website went up and new ideas came from people of all ages from all parts of the community, from those that lived around the corner to those on the outskirts of town. Popular ideas from them rose to the top and guided Civic Artworks. This is crowdsourcing, and it makes us faster and far less expensive. With those crowdsourced ideas identified, we then began asking questions to help clarify the details. The answers created an enormous amount of data. Data that tells a story our clients are especially interested in. That data, along with their feedback, helps us quickly develop an illustration that represents their beliefs and a positive outcome that will continue to cement future implementation. This vision for division saved important historic buildings and has inspired new development. Future action by elected leaders was validated, and developers got what they wanted. They knew where to put their money, and they knew that it was a safe bet. And citizens can rest assured that their voice was heard, it mattered, and the value of the Division Street was enhanced. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And we produced something that community members in Plainfield, like you and your neighbors, can easily understand. No expensive, lengthy, and wasteful report documents that will never be read and certainly will see very little use. That work in Plainfield swept the two major community planning and design awards here in Illinois. One for the process and one for the result. Both competing against the status quo, both judged by our professional peers. We did all of that using a lean startup mentality, and we bootstrapped the whole way through. And oh yeah, this was just our very first time out of the gate. We're pretty thrilled with those results. Remember these numbers? Let's add one more. 34%. Civic Artworks can reduce community meeting costs by 34%. And we also reduce the amount of time and money spent to do better work. Within Impact Engine, we've changed our approach in order to reach and help improve more communities. Our reliance on direct sales is gone. Our website now invites community members to initiate projects themselves, and if their neighbors support them, we connect them with those who can fund it. Using this new community-driven lead generation approach, we have increased our user count, the number of campaigns to improve neighborhoods like your own, and the projects we are working on. Considering our local market size, there are 50 Chicago aldermen representing 77 neighborhoods just across the city alone. There are 284 municipalities in Chicagoland, each with their own unique neighborhoods. Nationally, we're talking about 20,000 total communities, all with neighborhoods, all with problems, all with opportunities for Civic Artworks to help. And I'm sure there are questions as to whether municipalities can be our lone source. But I completely agree. Let's look at a few more. Civic organizations like Forge Columbus, who we just started working with to create a public transportation plan for the city of Columbus, Ohio. Condominium associations like Marina City here in Chicago, who want to work with their residents and business owners to find a new way to raise the value of their homes and businesses. And then chambers of commerce and similar organizations like the Chicago Loop Alliance, looking to improve the desirability of the places and the businesses they represent. This list really starts to grow when you think about all those who are invested in the success of a neighborhood, from realtors to certainly the developers, and our friends, other architects and planners that use our platform as a lead generation tool for themselves. We're thrilled with the results, and Civic Artworks is hungry and determined to take the next steps forward. Our team is led by myself, Derek Patton, and Pete Jabor. We represent over 20 years of community planning, design, and building experience, and we are excited to add you to our team. Our next steps include further developing our web application to make it faster and easier, adding marketing and sales talent, and getting each of you started today. And I mean that. I'm going to put you to work. So check out Transforming Wabash. It's a project that I mentioned. We're working with the Chicago Loop Alliance. I think it'll inspire you. Wabash lies in the shadows of Michigan Avenue and State Street. And for many years, it's been a barrier between the tourists and the dollars along Michigan Avenue and the parks and State Street. Wabash has been a bit foreboding for those that don't know it. There are over 130,000 people that come in contact with Wabash every single day. Many have an idea or two on how to improve it. And in just over a month, 13,000 Chicagoans have visited CivicArtworks.com to see how they can make a difference. I encourage you to go there, add your own ideas, comment on others. And while you do this, think about how neighborhoods all across this country could benefit from using a tool like this, including your very own. And I mentioned our next steps forward. We won't do it alone. There's certainly interest in adding more to our team, so I encourage you to reach out to us afterwards. I mentioned Derek, myself, certainly Pete. We're the ones in the garish, ugly gold t-shirts here. We're easy to spot. But we're Civic Artworks. We empower neighborhood design, and we hope that you reach out to us later on or email us at founders@civicartworks.com. Thank you very much.